You're
Alright, y'all. I got my man's Young Library here.
How y'all doing today? My name is Troy. Young Library on the gram, YUNG. But yeah, when we talking about immune system, you want to talk about the gut and how the average American got 5 to 10 pounds of backed up waste, and obese people got like 10 to 20 backed up waste in their gut. So the first thing we want to do is cleanse our gut, and whether that be fasting, taking a detox, a 7-day, 21 detox, or
7 to 21 days.
yeah,
Okay.
they range depending on where you get it from. Some boxes you get the 7 days, others be the 21, so on and so forth. Or a colon cleanse, that's another option as well. But first and foremost, you want to start off by cleaning your gut. So because when it's backed up, even if you consume a bunch of, herbs and healthy products, a small percentage of it will be absorbed because the microvilli and the intestines are, laid down when they're supposed to be sticking up to absorb the nutrients. But because we consume a lot of greasy foods and foods that's fast foods or just things that is clogging up that area, we won't be able to absorb the nutrients that we should be getting from the food. And speaking on food, that's the next conversation, is how do you look at food, or what's your perspective of food? Because a lot of us, when we eat, it's for emotional reasons, it's for just out of boredom, things of that nature. But really, food is essentially supposed to provide you with energy. So,
And a lot of people, they eat until they
full,
tired,
and get the itis and things of that nature.
Food is definitely supposed to give you energy. You're supposed to be able to eat and be able to go about your day, not just eat and have to go to sleep because you don't got because all of your energy when you eat too much. Because first it takes your stomach 20 minutes to tell your brain that it's full. So you could be eating past your stomach's capacity, and your brain don't know until later, oh damn, you put too much food in me, so now all of your energy is being focused on your digestive system, and it's being focused on digesting that food instead of that food energy that you just ate being spread out and pushed into other parts of your body.
And that's another point. A lot of the chemicals in the foods, such as like red 41, yellow, all those chemicals, they are telling your brain that this isn't filling me up. So it causes the symptoms of you constantly consuming, or you're not feeling satisfied from the foods that you're eating, because one, it doesn't have nutrients in it, and that's something we all suffer from, is nutrient deficiency. Fat, skinny, in between, we're not getting enough nutrients and minerals that we're supposed to get on a daily basis. Another thing that she indicated is, if your food is giving you the itis and is making you tired, then that's the opposite of what it's intended to do. Food is supposed to, give you energy, and that's also coupled with making you feel light. So you have enough, you have the energy to do what you need to do. Like she was saying, when you consume food, 80% of your energy goes to breaking down the food. So on top of that, if all your energy is going to breaking down the food, and it's a heavy meal at that, like fruits and vegetables take between 30 minutes to an hour to digest, versus like meats, it take hours to days to digest. So just keeping that perspective, not saying you should eat meat, but you should just consume less of it, or have a balanced perspective, a holistic perspective.
Now you said about minerals. Now I know that a lot of our food has minerals in it that aren't biodegradable by our body, that our body doesn't have the ability to break down. For example, water. You might get a bottle of water and it might say added minerals for taste, or alkaline with added minerals, and a lot of these minerals contain metals. So it's just like your body can't, like, it can't filter those minerals out. So it's like
that's the role that plants play in our lives. So basically, plants get the minerals from the soil, and then they convert them into it being digestible for our body to consume them. So that's why plants are so important, because we need minerals to survive as human beings. They say we need 90 minerals, and the average plants got 6 to 12 minerals based on the governmental standards for them to grow plants. You only need 6 to 12. So we're lacking a big range of minerals in our diet. And we just lacking fruits and vegetables, period. Like, we lacking the basics: fruits and vegetables, sunlight, connecting with nature, because that's where all this stems from. Is we're so disconnected from nature. All illnesses and diseases are man-made, essentially, because of our disconnect, our disobedience to nature, and us just thinking we're smart, but we're not moving like we're smart. Like, we're miseducated, and we're moving as if we're ignorant. But another point to the plants is that plants are so intelligent that whatever is going on in your environment, say the chemical pollution, the bacteria and the viruses that's happening in the environment, the plants adapt to that, and they survive through that, and they build the minerals and nutrients to give to us so we could survive through it. So we adapt what the plants give us if we consume them. And that's the whole point, also connecting to the herbs, like knowing the herbs that grow in your environment, getting with local herbalists, going on the nature walks with them, connecting with them. We got people out here that's teaching these things, such as El Hagan, such as Chris the herbalist, such as many more. Like, you connect with us, we're going to connect you to them. That's what it's about, sharing resources, all those great things.
Wow. Okay, so what would you say, like, you know, the first step to somebody wanting, like, because let's say it's somebody that is living in this time, and they're aware that, like, you know, they're aware, which awareness is the first step. They're aware of what's going on, and they're aware that you can heal yourself through food. What would you say is the first step to, like, you know, making that change? Because I know for myself, it was a big, like, you know, it took me a long time to, like, really, you know, make that full transition from eating the foods, like, because sugar specifically is, like, it's addictive. It has the same chemical effects on your brain that cocaine does. Yeah, it's crazy. So all of these, like, and a lot of people think of sugar, they think of, like, you know, sweet stuff, like, you know, like stuff along those lines. But a lot of processed food, everything breaks down into sugar, especially like processed foods. When you're eating a lot of processed foods, your body has a harder time breaking them joints down and processing them into energy, and for two, a lot of it breaks down into artificial sugars, you know. So a lot of these joints, like he said, the red 40, the blue was it blue number 3? Yeah,
all
like,
type of numbers. Y'all can look at the ingredients and see them.
All these joints are artificial sugars, and your body is not, like, your body will break it down eventually, but it's not naturally equipped to break down these things, and our bodies are adapting to be able to break down these unnatural sugars, you know. And these sugars, not only do they have an effect on your gut and an effect on your body's process of breaking down foods and converting them into energy, but it also has an effect on your brain. Like the artificial colors and high fructose corn syrup, they are proven to lead to ADHD in children and lead to hyperactivity, lead to not being able to focus, you know, because these are damn, I lost my train of thought. But
to that point though, as far as, like, your body not being able to break these artificial things down, they store them in your fat cells. They store it in your body, and it's toxic. Any toxins, they store it in your body, and that's what a lot of these symptoms of illnesses come from or stem from, such as headaches, dehydration, migraines, all types of things like this. These are symptoms, are precursors to illnesses and diseases developing. But if we don't understand it as such, we just think, oh, this is a usual thing. No, that's your body communicating to you, telling you it's a problem.
Exactly.
You need to drink more water. You need to consume more things that's beneficial to me and not harming me. So we got to identify the things that are toxic in our lives and the things that are helpful and empowering us. And we gotta know what's what first. Like she was saying, the first step is awareness.
That goes for everything.
That's the first step, is awareness. And once you're aware of those things, then you could be honest with yourself as far as where you at with your healing. Like, are you going to go in on this journey, or are you going to be comfortable where you at and you're going to continue down that path? But the first step is awareness. The second step is honesty. Then the next step is putting the work in, surrounding yourself with the people that's doing these things, connecting with the people, building a community to having that support and having that, having those like minds so y'all can attract the things that you deserve and want.
Definitely. I will say too, like living in a predominantly African American community, like I feel like we have a lot more processed and fast foods that are accessible to us, and like a lot of the time we don't, and our families don't have the knowledge of like, knowing what is in these certain ingredients and what type of an effect they have on your body. It's so easy to like go to McDonald's and get like a bundle and bring that junk home to your family. But it's just like, you have to look at it. Food is natural. Like, food is supposed to be natural. If you take a McDonald's burger, it don't mold, it don't break down, it don't like it doesn't, it'll just get hard and just stay.
To me.
So it's very important to like, gain that knowledge, not only for yourself but for your family, for your future generations, because it's not like, it's so easy to like, just eat, because that's what we're taught to do. We're taught to just eat, and like just food is food. Like we're not really taught about the dangers of food and the negative effects they can have on our bodies. Even doctors, I think doctors only get about
8 hours of nutritional training. And it's like, we're going to doctors to solve nutritional problems, but they're not even equipped or educated to help us. And we need to differentiate doctors from dietitians or nutritionists and know the difference of who we're going to help us with these problems. Because a lot of these things that we're facing can be solved by developing a holistic lifestyle. And I'm saying that because I implemented these things in my life, and they helped me be a better person, empower me to take my life to the next level. So I'm just speaking from experience, and it's not for everybody, but for the people that it is for, and the people that's resonating and connecting with the information, then, you know what I'm saying, link up, connect with your boy, connect with the fam, the squad, what's going on, a whole lot of.
So I'm gonna just end off with what do you have to say about like your immune system and building up your immune system, and like, these unprecedented, is that the word?
Unprecedented times?
Unprecedented times, yes.
Yes, thank you. First and foremost, building up the immune system, you want to cleanse your gut. That's the first step. Cleanse your gut. You want to fast, whether that's intermittent fasting, whether that's going on a fruit cleanse. It's so many different type of fasts and different ways you could go with it, but reach out to somebody that's educated in that, or practice it, and they can help you through the process or point you in the right direction. So that's the first step, is cleansing your gut, because most of your hormones is built in the gut. 70% of your hormones is built in the gut, so that controls your mood. They call that the second brain. So how you feel is closely related to what's going on in the gut. So you want to make sure that's right. And that's another thing to intuition. It builds your intuition and your connection with spirit once you cleanse that, then you have more clarity, you'll have more trust in yourself. And that's what this whole thing about is building communication with your body.
Definitely.
You want to have that relationship.
I will say now that I am on a completely different diet than I was good 5 years ago. My body will tell me when something is out of whack. My body will tell me when, like, my body will tell me when something is out of whack, and my body will tell me when something needs my attention, you know, and I'm a lot more sensitive to different things than I was when I was just used to eating a whole bunch of processed foods, to the point now where when I do eat processed foods, my body is just like, ew, like, why'd you put that in me, you know? So definitely dialing back and giving your body like time to repair its natural receptors will give you that communication back with your body. You know, like if you're starting to feel sick, you know, you can boost up on the immunity immunity building herbs, and like your body has the ability to naturally fight these germs off. But when you're eating foods that are compromising your immune system and that are making your body have to work harder, your body is working so hard on breaking down and digesting these heavily processed foods that it doesn't have the energy to put towards other things like building up your immune system to fight off illnesses, you know. So I feel like now more than ever it's very important to, like, you know, it's never too late. It's honestly never too late to make that
right
jump.
Now.
Exactly, to make that jump and, like, you know,
there's
start.
A will, there's a way.
Exactly. So, but I feel like now is the time. Like, if there's no better time than the present. But with everything that's going on, you know, I personally I'm not big on pills and, like, you know, like taking stuff like that. I believe that my body has the power to fight off anything. You know, like, just because I have that strength in my immune system, like I said, since I stopped eating mucus forming foods, I have not been sick. You know, I have not been sick because my body is in a healthy state, and my body doesn't have glue inside of it for these viruses, for these pollens, for these allergens to be able to stick inside my body and make me sick. You know, so yeah.
I will say I got a few more things to say to y'all real quick. You want to get to the basics, which is free. You know, these things are available in your everyday life. As far as like getting fruits and vegetables, you got food trucks, you got produce stores, produce junctions throughout the city. You got gardens that's popping. North Peace Park in North Philly. You got One Art Community Center.
The Urban Creators John.
So many. There's so many resources out here. It's literally like you just gotta connect and tap in, reach out to people. So getting back to the basics. So that's breathing, oxygen. They say that a human body could only go 3 to 6 minutes without breathing. That shows how essential breathing is, and we take it for granted every day. Like how often throughout the day do you just stop and focus on taking deep breaths from your gut, like emptying out all your air, then filling it back up, like really focusing on that.
Because I will say too, like, you know, I know a lot of people are feeling stressed as of right now, and breathing can have a profound effect on like feeling stressed. If you just stop and take a moment to be present and to just like inhale and just exhale, and it slows down your heart rate, it silences your mind. You know, it's extremely important to just stop and breathe, you know.
Literally change your mood. Like, you realize when you feeling angry or aggravated, your heart is beating much faster. So
your heart is beating much faster because it's rushing to push blood to parts of your body that are lacking oxygen. You know, so it's important to really listen to yourself and to have control over your emotions and over your stress and over your anger, because when you get stressed and when you get scared, your body starts reacting like it's stressed and like it's scared, and that takes a toll on your immune system.
Put you in a fight or flight mode. And cortisol is like poisonous in a sense. Like if you're not using it, say if you in a fight situation, you're going to be using it. So it makes sense in that scenario. But if you in a situation and you just allowing stress to come at you and you're producing cortisol, it's literally toxic to your body. Like you're harming yourself unnecessarily. So that's why it's important to really lower the areas of stress that you could control.
Definitely.
Like if you know something is bothering you, such as the news or people in your life that's toxic, you want to limit those things, or you want to let them know like, yo, I ain't trying, you doing too much right now. You feel me? I can only talk to you when I'm in the space to talk to you. You gotta prepare yourself for those situations because they could just be harmful literally to your health and wellness. And that's what's first priority, your health and wellness.
Definitely. It's only one you.
Exactly, and you got to prioritize that.
Definitely.
So back to the other basics. Water. Hydration.
Yep.
Key. Illness. They say illness cannot exist in an oxygenated body. So if you got oxygen in your body, illness cannot exist. And illness starts when your body is dehydrated. That's also known as acidity. You're not alkaline. So you want to get your water in, and when you want to get all types of water in, but when you get more advanced, then you start really differentiating the types of waters, but that's kind of another conversation. But also the fruits naturally have water in them.
Yep.
So you want to implement that because you got your water coupled with the nutrients, like she was saying, with waters adding all these minerals and stuff like that. That's not natural. But if you get to the fruits, which is natural, and we in season for it, then it's like, that's money. Like that's electricity. That's, you know what I mean? You
talking your watermelons, your seedless
watermelon,
no,
seeded, yes.
Seeded watermelons. You got your your apples, your oranges,
grapefruit. You got your grapes with the seeds right in Germantown. You feel me? We in Germantown right now. You got your mangoes. Right now, my favorite is dragon fruit, which is very, very hydrating. She don't like it, but that's cool. That's cool. Look, you develop the taste for these things.
Yeah, to each his own, man.
Some people got parasites, and the parasites be like, I don't like that. It's like, no, I'm joking. But look.
Wow.
That was a joke. No, but look, we all got parasites, though. We all do. They exist in us, period. Like, illnesses, that's another thing. Illnesses exist in us, and our body is constantly fighting them off. The thing is, are we feeding the illness? Or are we feeding the wellness? So knowing what our lifestyle is feeding, because our habits, our lifestyle is reflective of our habits. Yes. So if we're sick, that shows that our habits isn't producing wellness. So we got to reflect and limit the habits that's causing the sickness. Mm-hmm. So watermelon, mango, dragon fruit, coconut. You know what I mean? Coconut.
Yeah, and when you eating these like fruits and vegetables and shit, you want to make sure that you washing them.
That dragon fruit. It's that mango.
Oh, it's orange now? Oh, I feel
it's
like
yellow too.
Yeah. Because it was another fruit that looked like that.
No, it was purple.
It was the other fruit, the other John, that looked just like that John.
I'm saying,
y'all had it at the...
Talk about it.
Anywho, make sure you're washing these fruits and vegetables off, because like pesticides and shit are real. We live in one of the only countries in the world where GMOs are legal, and these Johns have only been available since 1996. So there are no long-term studies on the effects that GMOs have on the human body. We're the test subjects. So it's important to try and eliminate, if not eliminate, then reduce as much as possible the amount of genetically modified foods that you're taking in, because they're so prominent now that sometimes it can be hard to avoid. And it's just important to be conscious of what you're eating, because everything has an effect on you, whether that be positive or negative, but it's really important to because they say even the organic foods, like the Johns with the 9 5-digit labels, even them Johns, they saying they just slap a sticker on that John.
Look, I don't get into all of that. Look, I come from the mindset of like, you know, people, the mind is so powerful that we could literally, if we speak unto water, we could change the frequency of it. If we pray over food, we could change the frequency of it. And people say they pray over, you know, soul food and things that's potentially harmful of the body, and they make it positive and da 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 da. So it's like, I use that same mindset as far as the GMO fruits or da 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 da. It's thinking, using your mind, the most powerful thing you have to manifest the reality that you want, and creating that. It's like, I know this thing is good for me, even though they try to dupe it and make it not good for me. But it's like, look, you gonna know when something is good for you the way your body reacts to it. Definitely. And that's why it's so important to have that communication with your body, because you are your first doctor, you are your first healer, you are your first psychologist, you are your first lover, all those things. You are your first everything. So really develop the relationship with yourself so you could discern which path you want to go, because there's tons of information that's contradicting to what I'm saying, me contradicting other information, so on and so forth. But you want to witness both sides and then be able to discern for yourself. You don't want to just follow anyone blindly. You want to have that intuition for yourself and that experience. Like, oh, I tried this, I tried that ain't really work for me. I like this better, I like that.
Yeah, because the more knowledge you gain, you're able to like make those decisions for yourself and find out. Because what works well for me might not work well for him, you know? Like, everybody different, everybody's bodies react differently to different things, you know? So it's important to just do that knowledge and do that research. Like I was saying, like, it's blogs available, YouTube, like anything you want to know, like, you know, whether you're a reader or whether you're a watcher, you can find information on that, Joe. And like you said, to the community, like, you know, everybody that I've come in contact with and like the natural community here in Philly is super, like, you know, open to sharing information. And it's just like, that's how you learn. Like, I'm always learning new things from the people that I surround myself with. I feel like that's an important character trait to have within your friends. Like, you know, if you're not learning nothing from these niggas, then what are you friends for?
Facts. Fuck these niggas dumb. Bullshit. Wow. Out of pocket. Ops.
All that shit.
Yeah.
So it's important to, like, you know, you're a product of your environment. So if you want to learn some new shit, get around the niggas that know the shit that you want to learn. Period. So yeah, I mean, I think I pretty much said everything that I wanted to say, you know, pretty much just this. I mean, I know this shit is scary, but you can't allow fear to take over. You know, you can't allow your body to go into fear mode, because when you go into fear mode,
breaking down your immune system.
Breaking down your immune system, your adrenal glands is kicking in, and they, like you said, producing cortisol, affecting your kidneys and producing too much cortisol, and your body is in fight mode. And unless it's like a direct threat and you are actually in danger, you don't need to be activating those parts of your body, because all you can do is control right now. And if right now you cool, then you cool. You feel me? Like, just live in the moment and just know that, like, we as human beings have the power to, like, persevere and to get through whatever. Like, this is just the end of one age to come into a new age, honestly. And we're gonna get through it. You know, as long as you believe that you can get through it, and you believe that this is, like, you know, every now and then something gotta get thrown into the pot. Stir that joint up, you know? Get you out your comfort zone a little bit, get you ready for the next level of your life. As long as you know that you have the ability to make it through, you're gonna make it through.
Big facts.
Yeah, so
on that note, peace and love to y'all.
Peace and blessings.
Blessings.
Love and light.
You know what I mean? Stay healthy out here.
Yes.
And get sunlight.
Yes.